Ah, the hotties. A very good evening to you. It's just me, Scottie McCLUE. I thought I'd do a quick pop-up just to say hi and see what's happening. 22:40 is the time, and it's so lovely to be with you. I don't know, we had football tonight, so I thought no point in popping up earlier because probably the Swiss people and the Scottish people as well will be watching the football. So I didn't pop up earlier. So that was what was going on there. Amazing stuff, I tell you. Now then, we are live. So do tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. Get the word out there and say McClue's live. He's actually live right now. And DINKY-DOO, I say to every single one of you, we've just been joined by a good whack of viewers as well. And that's rather good. You can't say better than that. Bonsoir, Monsieur McClue, says Christoire. Christoire, bonsoir. Je regrette, mais je ne parle pas français très vite. Si tu parles lentement, peut-être je comprends. Oui. Hi, Scotty. Oui, d'accord. DINKY-DOO, ça va? I say to you, a lot of French been taught tonight. Of course, Switzerland is half French, isn't it? Are you all better now? Well, I'm a bit better, Murray. I'm going back to my work very soon. Because the first time in 50 years, I had to come off my work. Now, was that your dear dad's birthday today? I left him a wee message just to say hi, because I thought, what a wonderful son he has got. A son who is, I think, 9 years younger than me. Oh, look at that. DINKY-DOO, Scotty, DINKY-DOO, Alistair. How lovely to have you with us. And a very, very warm welcome. Nice to hear you. I hope you're not working too hard, and we're hoping to see you at some point. Scotty, you a legend. How did you find the game? I loved the game tonight. There was some very, very good football, you know, and you don't always get that. You think, oh, for goodness sake, these are top people, Scotty. Of course, you're going to get good football. Not always, not always. And wonderful as usual with all the pundits on talking for hours and talking for hours afterwards and things like that. And I feel for the poor players when they shove the mic under them when they've just come off a pitch with 90 minutes plus. But no, it was very, very exciting. And of course, I loved Scotland's goal. You know, that was good. Excellent stuff. We like that. So there are. So, no, we're a bit better. It was Scotty. Yes, indeed, it was a heavenly one. But I was hoping just for a wee, I was glad that the goal was disallowed, so it wasn't 2-1. So that was quite good. I think there was two, wasn't there? Two were disallowed, but some excellent footballing, some excellent refereeing, and I noticed they were very good at the end, a lot of chummy, a lot of, hugs and fist bumping and all that stuff and what have you. Very, very good. You legend, brava! So there we are. So no, I liked the game tonight. And I've popped up a wee funny for you. So there you are. You'll see it on the YouTube. And I want to grow the YouTube. So there we are. Alistair King has just sent me a meerkat. Alistair, what are you thinking about? You should have said that. That's very expensive. We put that up for a laugh. And it's gone now. The meerkat's gone. We love it. Absolutely. So Murray, 60 in the morning. My good self. So your dad and I are neck and neck, and your dad was born the same day as King James VI. So there you are. So excellent stuff. Mary, Queen of Scots' son. What about that? I tell you, just at the very start of the big push in the monarchy to get away from Rome. So very, very interesting, because I've always said that James VI was it 350 years and a day older than me? Alistair, what are you doing? He's sending me donuts now. I don't know. For goodness sake, now we've sent the donuts. What are you doing? I don't know. Thank you so much. It's very, very kind. As you know, McClue never asks for anything. And I think sometimes he that doth not ask gets. And look at all the beautiful red roses, Richard Tanner and Michael as well. And Murray, stop now, for goodness sake. You've already paid all of your dues plus. Murray, I remember going to a lovely friend who had a big country house in Perthshire. You'll be familiar with all these places. And he invited me up, so I drove through the night from Manchester. I think I'd done my Hogmanay show, and I drove up, and I took a very swish bottle of malt whiskey with me. And I went in and I said, "This is for you." And he'd been celebrating all night, and he held it aloft and went into the assembled company and said, "This man's just paid his entrance fee." Quite funny. And then he said, "Do we all know this man?" They're all, "Oh, DINKY-DOO." Sending happy birthday, Scott McCLUE fan. I thank you very much. And listen, Scott McCLUE fan, thank you for your wonderful collage of pictures. We thought that was brilliant. Everybody loved that. What a man you are, Murray. You really are. 1 point's better than no points at all. John Donnelly. Listen, I've always said that. A bird in the hand. I once had a second-hand lawnmower. Murray, what are you doing? My goodness me, it's the generosity. And a second-hand lawnmower had swapped an electric one for a motor one. And I think there was a cash exchange, 20 quid either way. Anyway, this thing was making a real racket with a wheel. I was going up and down the lawn. It was going, and the neighbour obviously couldn't stand it and came round with a can of WD-40, never acknowledged me or spoke to me, just squirted the wheel. And I stopped the mower. I said, "Oh, thank you so much. I wasn't sure what I was going to do about that." And he said, I said, "Do you think this mower's any good?" And he looked and said, "Well, it's cut your grass, hasn't it?" And sometimes I think we should be a bit more like that in life if it's done the job. I once got new windows in a flat in the West End of Glasgow, new windows, after about 100 years. Because what was happening was leaves were coming in the windows, and that's when they were shut. And I said to my dear late father, I said, "Dad, how long do you think these windows will last?" And he looked and went, "Long enough." We love it. So there we are. So the game was amazing tonight, guys, I have to say. And I waited. You are a legend, says AJ. I thank you, AJ. You are very kind to me. Now, not seen you on here for ages. No, I've not been terribly well. And I had to take time off my work, which broke my heart. And my heart's got to mend now. And I'm going back to my work next week. DINKY-DOO, Scotty, DINKY-DOO, Tom, lovely to have you. Slange, says Murray. Slange, Murray. Slange to you. You're a top man. And you've been so, so kind to me. You know that. Thank you, Scotty. The people really love to see Scotty McCLUE edits. The new world's going to need Scott McCLUE. Scott McCLUE fan, the new world. The new world's coming. I'll tell you that right now. And the baddies are going to just... They are going to go to the bad fire. Yes, you watch. So there you are. Hope all's well. Yes, we're a lot better than we've been, Tom. The chest is clearing. It was a real baddie. Notice when you say that, you get a cough. Have you ever been at a meeting or a church service, a divine service, or a mass, or a theatre, and there's not a sound? Concert hall, Beethoven's The Emperor, not a sound at the end of it. And then somebody goes, and everybody goes, all that starts. Yes, David, DINKY-DOO, we can see the messages. Oh, my goodness me, I don't believe my Scotty McCLUE's back. Ben Soldier Boy, here we are, the very same. Which movie is this from? Sean Finn. The very same. What movie is that from? You tell me. Glad to hear you're on the mend, Scotty. Hopefully, Tom, that is it. 68 years old tomorrow. So there you are. But for the first time in my life, I had to take time off my work. First time in 50 years, or the first time in 55 years, 56 years, if you include the holiday job, the Saturday job. If you've been a baddie, a thief, a liar, or a cheat, you're gone. Scott McCLUE fan, you are. And I've only met one bad man, but he was a very, 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 very bad man. And he was a thief and a liar and a cheat. And, you know, these people are very, very toxic. So there you go. But they're going to be, the world will take care of these people. I tell you, the universe. I had to, I was very, very, very angry at these protesters that sprayed Stonehenge because the summer solstice is tomorrow. And I know they're seeking publicity. These shocking, disgusting, despicable behavior. And I thought to myself, what breathtaking arrogance to think that human beings can interfere with the, I know they can in a sort of, a synthetic way they can interfere with weather systems and things like that. But the fact that they could interfere with the heating and cooling of the world, which has been heating and cooling for billions of years before humans were ever on the earth. And I mean, we could only get here because it had warmed enough from the ice age. So there you are. Thank you, everybody. David, DINKY-DOO. Scotty, happy birthday for tomorrow. It's me. Can you see this? David, I can. And thank you for all your patience. I know some of you were getting a wee bit angry with me because you thought, where is it? This is not good enough. And I thought, I'm nae will. Give us a chance. I say, do you know what's coming up here, Murray? You'll love this. We're getting the price of gold coming up and the price of oil. I don't know what's happened, but something's programmed into this that I'm seeing the stock market. Maybe I should sit here and do some broking, and then I might not be broke. Wonderful stuff. Happy birthday, Scotty La, from myself, Patricia, and Sean. Tom, you're very, very kind. I tell you. And hi, Scott. Hi, Alfie. There's Chris DINKY-DOO. Tremendously good draw for Scotland. We moved on positively. We did indeed. All right, geezers, says AJ. All right, AJ. Played well. And we go again. Yes, we've survived to fight another day. But, and guys, I'm sorry to keep bringing this up. The other night when we lost 5-1, the other night, enough said. When we lost, enough said. Okay. All right, I get it. So the other night when we had a challenge, and it was getting more challenging. There's an echo in here. I thought to myself, we didn't have God Save the King at the start of the game with Flower of Scotland. Now, Flower of Scotland's about two kings, and it was written by a guy who went to the same school as the king, the present king, and a lovely guy, lovely guy. And I remember it coming out, great folk song, Flower of Scotland, set in the 1200s, I think, if I've got that right, and based on the chorus of the Hebrew slaves from the opera Nabucco. But what we should have had with the German national anthem, and then we sang a folk song. Now, can you imagine if we'd sung God Save the King and Germany had sung a drinking song or something like that? You know? So, you know, I thought to myself, no, this is wrong. We should have God Save the King, and then if you wanted, Flower of Scotland. But it's not the national anthem, and I've had every dafty under the sun. Oh, it's a national anthem, Scotty. You know, they don't get it. Scotty, I phoned in. Is it on? It's not on at the moment, Karim. There we are. We've only tried one call. I was so worried, but you're a genius, David. You're very kind. And I got all your anxiety, but I had no energy. I was really fighting for my life. I've just got some new goalkeeper gloves. Excellent, Reese. Are they like Scotty McClue's mitts? Do you remember my fingerless mitts? I might put them on. Alistair King, what are you doing sending me all these beautiful gifts? Yes, you're a naughty boy. Naughty boy. But there we are. But we'll get you back. I'll get you some gifts, I tell you. So there we go. What else we got? The Swiss as bad as the Germans at diving? Well, no, I was thinking about Switzerland tonight, and I've put this up on Scottie McClue's Twitter. I hope you all follow me on X, as it is now, at Scottie McClue. And on X, I put up that for Switzerland, the flag is a big plus. You know, I really think that. So there we are. So how have you been? I hope you remember me, Kareem. How could I ever forget you? You are a champion. You are a champion. And see, rather than putting Rishi Sunak and what's the other guy's name again? Keir Starmer, rather than putting them on the telly to debate, would we not be better with John Swinney and Nigel Farage? Oh, two gun ticks. Somebody's just given me a big hat and moustache. I thank you so much. Scotland were useless, says Chris. Chris, they were not. They were actually, we saw some very good football, some very good defending, some excellent goalkeeping. Yes. Yes. Oh, that's lush. Marvellous stuff. Yes, we know your career average. Professor Numpty. Scotty, are things back to normal? Well, Numpty, as you know, you and I have no normal. We don't know what normal is, really. It's just one of these terms like nice. Do you know, Murray, you'll know this one. You know, in the office world, people talk about, oh, no, he's a very nice chap. What does that mean? He's very nice. And when somebody phones me for a reference, says, Scotty, I hope you don't mind me phoning you direct, but we've had a name put in front of us. I said, I said, and I don't use the word nice. I don't say nice until the end sometimes, when I've explained about somebody's competence and how good they are on their cognitive side. And then I'll say, and also I have to say, he's a very nice chap. He won't do you wrong. You know, Scotty, I hope you're well. What does Britain have to do to get back to our glory days? It's a sad sight. Well, Fighting Fish, it's very difficult to know about our glory days. If you look back to the height of empire, there was not just slavery across the world. There was slavery at home, in the mines, and in the ironworks, and in the domestic service. You know, I mean, these big houses, have you noticed, those of you who are regularly on TikTok and YouTube, you will see, pardon me, I do beg your pardon, you will see a wee remnant of the Lurgy. You will see that people are abandoning mansions and chateaux and big houses. Used to be the thing, wouldn't it be lovely to have a nice big house? Remember Raktevi from Fiddler on the Roof? One great big staircase going up, another coming down. All that sort of stuff, Fiddler on the Roof. And I'd build a great big house. Yes, you know the one. Of course you do. So from that point of view, people used to think it'd be lovely to have a big house. Be a nightmare nowadays because you would need a hand, you'd need the staff. Alistair, what are you giving me? You're sending me music play. My goodness, have you won the lottery? I'm starting a new job in September, Scotty. Tom, that's great news. It's flannel, Scotty. Murray, it is flannel indeed. It's a lot of nonsense. So to say that somebody is nice, or they're a good chap or a good lass, well, you can't say that now, good lass. You're a good lass, you know, all that stuff. It's crazy. Woohoo! McClue's back, says Numpty Heed. Numpty Heed, you should give us a call, and so should Kareem at some point. But we're fleeing on at the moment. Gosh, I popped up for 5 minutes. Here we are, 20 minutes in. So there you go. Now, guys, I'm needing a huge hand. Let's get back to growing the TikTok. Let's get back to growing the TikTok. Let's get back to growing the YouTube. You'll see the URL is on the TikTok bio. Visit that. Let's see who this is. We'll take a wee call. Hang on. Hello, you're live in Scotty's Phone In. Who's that?
DINKY-DOO, it's Kareem Scotty.
Kareem, how lovely to hear you.
I've been a very long time, Scotty. I'm glad you're well.
Kareem, I've had a terrible time of it. I'm not going to bore you with it, but I know you have. But couldn't get my breath. Had to go off my work.
Goodness. But the main thing is you pulled through. You know, that's it.
Touch and go, I say.
Yeah.
You know,
you got there, and it's certainly an experience, and it's one that I'm sure you didn't want to go through.
Oh, you don't want to go through that at all. You think, what's going on here? Because as you know, you're not in charge of your wellness. So you try and do something and think, and you say, what happened? And then you get a bit down because somebody says, what's wrong with you? And you say, well, I couldn't get up the stairs.
I know. Yeah, I think you probably experienced it. People don't understand it as well. I think, you're at it.
You're right. Stop your nonsense. But that's a Scottish thing. You see, we didn't used to have heart attacks in Scotland. Somebody took a wee lazy turn and were dodging their work. You know?
What is it they say in a UK level? Stiff upper lip?
Stiff upper lip? No, but it was things like that. It's a bit like the way we understate the weather. If it's, you know, if you can't stand up for the wind, people say, it's fresh the day, eh? Right? If it's coming down in stair rods, they go, there was a wee shower earlier. It's still quite showery. You know? And they're standing out in their open neck, shutting their jacket, you know?
Yeah.
And then the other one, when it's roasting hot and you can barely get your breath, it's, you know, they go, it's mind you, it's close the day, close.
I know, but I'm glad you're over it, and it's certainly your body will be immune now, and
I hope so.
Well, you know, it'll be well if you were to catch it again. But there's a wee spike at the moment. I know there's some people that have caught it recently. And it seems to do that in summer, like when people go abroad and they're coming back in planes, you know.
You'll get it through the air conditioning. But I'll tell you though, Kareem, the problem that with this now is it confuses the immune system. So the immune system either overreacts, you know, and then you feel unwell as well, or you know, it doesn't kick in the way it should do.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But we're not going to go into too many conspiracy theories until we find out. But you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
You know?
And I think hay fever doesn't help at the moment as well on top of that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'll tell you what's interesting. A lot of what people used to laugh at as conspiracy theories are coming true.
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah,
it's interesting. But there's good things coming, Kareem. Don't worry too much. The bad people have had their day.
Well, change, you've said that always, Scotty.
Yes.
You know, and you have seen it over the years, good times, bad times.
Yes.
And you've said that so many times. And
yes.
Although the elections are around the corner, I think change is coming. I don't think, personally, my opinion, Starmer is not the best leaders. If you think of past prime ministers.
No, we're not really wanting that. Although I'll tell you what's a wee bit frightening, and I'm not going to get into too much detail, but there's a rumour that he might not last and could be replaced with something worse.
Well, my opinion is I think he'll be one term. I think he'll be a one-term man. And then, you know, it's up for grabs because, you know, the media, the UK media is Tory run, it's Tory based. And you can see it already in interviews when they're interviewing Conservative people. They're not as harsh, they're not as, you know, going for the jugular.
Well, it's very money-based, I think. Therefore, we're a wee bit narrow in our filters. You know, but I mean, as I say, I've always said to people, I'm apolitical. And then they can't accuse you of being one way or the other.
I'll tell you something that's very scary. And I think I can understand why people are drawn to him. and he's an outstanding speaker because he can get into people's minds. But if you mentioned him earlier, Nigel Farage.
Nigel Farage, very, very charming, very, very good, very, very clever, very, very experienced. And I think I like the man, and I like a lot of what he stands for, but it doesn't mesh well with where the main Scottish party is. You know, it's so one's a bit to the right, one's a bit to the left. But I've always said independence is much, much bigger than any party or any people.
Yes.
And it shouldn't just be under politics, Kareem. Independence should be under economics. And see, we're pushing for this because we need to rebuild the Scottish economy. That's why we're pushing for it. And I can tell you this, you know, what you can do if you don't want us to become independent right now is start shelling out proper money so we can do that to Scotland and stop taking. Or why don't we try it? Let's go independent for 10 years. And if it doesn't work out, we'll come back.
An option. Well,
yes. No pressure.
I think at the moment it's not going to happen anytime soon, Scotty, sadly. But I can see this happening. If Nigel Farage wins that seat where he's tipped to win, I think he's going to be the next Conservative leader. Because Rishi Sunak will step down and there will be, you know, it takes up to 3 months to pick a leader. I think he will be, he'll already be in talks, let's be honest, with the Tory HQ.
Well, we don't know that. No, Kareem, we can't say that because we don't know that. That's an assumption. And when I used to take my accountancy classes, you know, the lecturer taught us, you never assume. So you never say when you're checking cash, I take it that's the notes that are in the drawer. This £1,000 here, that's your notes in the drawer. This this £1,000 worth of silver, that'll be the stuff that's in the safe. You say, go and get me the keys till I check this as well. Do you see what I'm saying? So let's not make assumptions. We don't know any of that, and we know that it's only a week or so since he announced he was standing, and the surge ahead in that is breathtaking. And what I'm thinking is he's more likely to be the opposition.
Right. Okay.
So you'll have Labour in. Maybe even on a landslide, I don't know. But they will be a weak leading party, and he could provide a very strong opposition. And that's when you get the best government, Kareem. When you've got strong opposition nipping at the heels of the government, saying, listen, we could buy and sell you tomorrow. Yeah?
Well, I'll say one thing. If he ever was to become Prime Minister, whatever party it would be, that would be very bad for Scotland. I really think that would be the case.
I don't know. Again, it's what's called a conversation. When I was working at a fairly powerful level in business, when I say powerful, we're dealing with quite big money, because I was credited with turning a £500,000 project into a £28 million success story. And when people give me a load of cheek, I say, have you done that? You know, and have you? And that sort of stuff. And when I was working at that level, pretty big stuff. Murray will know this. Murray will be listening here and he'll know this. Pretty big stuff is a conversation. And the most powerful words I've heard, I said, would it ever be possible to make that happen? And the person has looked at me and said, well, that's a conversation.
Right. Okay.
Do you see how powerful that is? That's a conversation. So it's like Donald Trump is wonderful at doing deals, and he does it so quickly. He will be able to know right away and give you an answer either on the spot or without a very long time. And top people are like that. I once needed to get a finance package agreed for a media company. And, you know, what I got from the very, very senior people I was speaking to was, I'll give you an answer tomorrow. Yes, I can't give you an answer today. I'll give you an answer tomorrow. And when you go to see these very top people, you think, if you could see me in a week or next month even, it would be amazing. You know, it might just save the day. And very often you ring up and they say, well, what about tonight at 6 o'clock? Would that suit you? And you've got to be on your mettle, because everybody will see you for 10 minutes, no matter how senior they are. If you've got a really good idea, you know, it's a bit like the Dragon's Den. You know, you've got a few minutes to convince them. And if they like you, you're on a winner. If you're giving them a load of nonsense, you might as well get yourself on that lift.
On you go. No, it's fair enough. But it's exciting times ahead, and it's good that there's good debate again, and it's needed. And I think for the Scotland SNP is what has been needed for a long time. That we kick up the backside to get them energised again. Just
get everything going again, because it can move at such a quick leap. I mean, it's not so long since we had Humza in, and now look where we are just a few weeks later, you know.
Alex Salmond's done a remarkable speech, as he always does.
He does. The man is outstanding. And I'll tell you something I thought today. And I know you can't cry over spilt milk, but I wish that somebody had said to Alec, when we didn't get independence in 2014, and if he'd said, oh, well, I think maybe I should do the so-called decent thing, somebody should, no, you don't. And just convinced him to stay, because the man is different class. And when we saw him out talking again, I thought, this is wonderful. I could listen to him forever. The man is fascinating.
Yes. I had a chance to meet him, and I'm kicking myself I didn't, because he was at Glasgow Green with the Independence Walk. I'm hoping he'll be at the one this Saturday. It's in Stirling, and it finishes at the legendary Bannockburn. So, of course. I'm hoping he's going to be there, because I'd love to get a picture with him. I really would love to get a picture with him. Well, listen, try and catch him, because he's fascinating. I was fortunate enough to meet him when he came into the radio station. And just a terrific guy. And that's me talking straight. Never mind all the politics. No, you can get a good bit of banter with him, I'm sure. Yeah,
well, just a very clever guy, great economist, you know, and a man they tried their worst to put down. You can never keep a good man down. No. Kareem, so lovely to hear you. I'm going to have to dash, or people will be going bananas here.
So it's brilliant to speak to you, and hope to speak to you again soon.
Bless you. Lovely to hear you. Night. What a great character. So there we are. That's our Kareem. Oh, my goodness. Hello, you're live at Scottish Fun. Who's that?
It's David. David.
How are you, Lala? Are you okay?
Oh, wow. How are you?
Oh, well, I'm better for hearing you. And thank you for all your kind messages.
Oh, seriously, Scotty? Wow. This is unreal. It's really amazing. So you can't talk about what happened. Are you okay?
I'm okay. No, I've just got a very, very, very bad, is the word, viral chest infection. And it got a grip of my lungs and compromised my lungs.
Oh.
And my feet were swelling up.
Scotty, I was in the hospital 4 weeks ago.
Oh.
And was that you in the helicopter? Could have been.
The helicopter? No, I wasn't in the helicopter. No.
Because I said helicopter, the big helicopter, the big hospital in Glasgow, and then I thought, what is this happening? I again also a couple of leg openings as well.
For goodness sake, you need to look after yourself.
I know. I was cleaning the house and the fridge, the glass unit fell on top of me in the fridge, the glass thing.
Oh, for goodness sake. And are you all right now?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Good.
Again, I
again, I suspected heart attack, but it didn't matter. But what about you?
No, I thought I was done for, you know.
Oh, oh man.
Oh, I tell you.
It's great. It's great you're back. Wow.
We're back and we're in business, and it's lovely to hear you. David, I'm going to dash and we'll get a proper catch up at some point.
You will. So I can only phone you on the internet on my phone for the 20th of June.
Right.
That's the 20th of June. I'll get that. People come out and give me BT broadband on my TV.
Oh, fantastic. We love it.
Yes.
We love it. And I'm going to get some better quality broadband, so there you go.
Aye, good, my friend, right? I love you.
Love you lots, Dinky-Doo.
Million Dinky-Doo, my friend.
That's your Davy. What a man. Heavens above. Right, busy stuff. But that is fantastic. Lovely to be back with you all. If you've just joined us and you're wondering what on earth's happening, you're watching Scottie McClue, and we're live on the big one. Scottie's a legend. We all used to listen to his radio shows in the Nick. Alan, how lovely to hear you back. I hope that all is well and you're not near the Nick, I tell you. So there we go. I'm going to Cyprus on Friday, my home country. Michael, we love it. You're a Cypriot. So there you go. We nearly have the same second name. Mine is McCLUE, says a gentleman. I can't help being the world's best mechanic. Alistair, you cannot. And you know that you do the very best work. I tell you. And I am so proud of you. The way you've dealt with everything. I hope you don't mind me saying. I am so proud of you, Alistair. You've handled things brilliantly. Tremendous. And you know there's a wee job waiting for you when you get a chance. When you get a chance. So there you are. Maybe in the next month or so, something like that. Success in any business, says Murray, needs collaboration and cooperation from the top down and the bottom up to make anything work. You've got to take everyone with you on the journey to make it work. Murray, you have. And Murray, you know some of the people I've worked with. I don't say worked for, because we worked with them. And you could pass the door and the door was sitting open, talk people. And I would always just raise a hand and a wave and they'd give me a thumbs up or something like that on the way past. And that was the person running the show. You know, absolutely fantastic. And they would also come down. One of the top bosses used to finish at night, about maybe 9 o'clock. He finished his work. And I would say to him, who'd be an MD, sir? You know, you try it, boy, it's 70 hours a week. And, you know, and then he would get into his huge motor car and glide up the road. But he would come in and see me for a breather. And I loved that. And I've just noticed that man, I don't know if he's still about, but he was about at 100, looking very well and got an award. He was about at 100. Lovely guy. There were. He appointed me when he was in his early 60s. That is that incredible. So there you go. Success, I tell you. Well, Murray, you know about how to create success because you've got the right attitude. It's a winner. It's not rocket science, but it's a winner. Somebody once said to me, Scottie, I don't know how you're not a multi-millionaire because you're not a silly fellow. And I thought, little does he know. Next stop, Stuttgart, says John. Absolutely, John. They're the best gaffers. Absolutely, Murray. You know, they speak to you if you need to be spoken to. They don't if you don't. And most of my, I have to say, touch wood, he says, patting his head, most of my interactions with these very, very senior people was social. One of the say they would come in and, you know, and they would go, has anybody seen the chairman? I think he's talking to Scottie. Oh. Great fun. We need to give you our national team rendition of a song of your choice to spur them on for the Hungry game. You will go viral, big chap. I tell you, fighting fish. Well, I was thinking about what a friend we have in Jesus at the start of the match. What a friend we haven't. Scotty, after this live, I'm going to have a listen to your old bits with Tom. There's plenty of them. And I'll tell you what I've popped up, and I want you all to see it. Bits of my favorite movie. Have you seen that on the YouTube and TikTok videos? Tunes of Glory. Every single bit of that film is a winner. And I don't know, I'd need to check, but I was told it didn't do as well at the box office as it should, because all-star cast. You know, Sir John Mills, Alec Guinness, Dennis Price, Gordon Jackson, Alan Cuthbertson, Susanna York, Kay Walsh. You know, I mean, all these great actors coming together in a movie, and an outstanding movie. And I remember saying to a senior Scottish Army regimental officer who was around at that time in a Scottish regiment in a castle, and I said, how accurate would you say the film is? He said, well, there's a little bit of artistic license, but it's pretty good. He said, I mean, after the Second World War, there was a lot of drink in the mess at night. And he said, well, there's too much drink, actually. So obviously, you know, the booze would be a bit cheaper and stuff like that for the army. And I would imagine, I know this was true for the Navy, I would imagine there would be cut price cigarettes and things for the army as well. Because we once played the Navy at rugby, and they had their own fags in those days when people played sport. And Scotty, do you speak much Irish? When you say Irish, Tom, do you mean, can I put on an accent like that for the South? And a bit sharper for the North? Or do you mean, do I speak the Gaelic? Pardon me, as in Camera Umaha Hakama. Falchi Kida Mili Falchi Don TikTok agus YouTube. Oh, is it Ice Cold and Alex? No, Amy, it's not Ice Cold and Alex. How do you know me? That's another of my favorites. Who have we got in that? Anthony Quayle, John Mills. Who's the wonderful lady? Played the Queen Mother in The Queen. Fabulous actress. Oh, great stuff, these movies. As soon as they come on, you think, watch this. You know, I get that. You know, you go into something, watch what's coming on. Fantastic. And I love when when Colonel Barrow arrives and is in the mess, and Major Sinclair, as the old ones called him, Colonel Sinclair, the outgoing colonel, Jock, said, what can I get you to drink, Colonel? And he says, yes, just a soft drink, not a whiskey. The battalion tends to drink whiskey. And he says, no, whiskey doesn't agree with me. Just anything will do. And he goes, a lemonade for Colonel Barrow. So there we are, I tell you. Lawrence of Arabia, another great one, John Peter O'Toole, Lawrence Orange. Do you know, I'll tell you a beautiful story about Lawrence of Arabia. Now, you won't have heard this, because very few people know it and say that you heard it here first. All right? Lawrence of Arabia. Lawrence was given to exaggeration about certain things and downplaying of other things. And he was remarkably well connected, Lawrence of Arabia. He'd done a lot of things out in Arabia. Surprise, surprise. And he was T.E. Lawrence. T.E. Lawrence. And he wanted to just be an ordinary RAF aircraftsman. So he applied and he went to see the appointments officer, yeah, and he was a captain, and the appointments officer said yes, and somebody said, how did you get on with that chap Lawrence? He said, I'm not sure about him, I'm not sure if he's suitable. And they said, appoint him or you'll be bowler hatted for the rest of your career. Bowler hatted, you'll be out. Appoint him, right? As if to say, don't knock him back. And I'll tell you who that appointments officer was. Captain W.E. Johns, who wrote the Biggles books. Do you remember Biggles? Biggles Flies South, Biggles and Algae and von Stelheim and all these great characters. And that was W.E. Johns. And I can remember when I was wee, I said to my father, what would Captain Johns, what about Biggles? What age would Biggles be? And he said, Biggles would be about 70 now. And that would be probably the late 60s. Captain W.E. Johns. So there you go, the appointments officer, the RAF, and he interviewed T.E. Lawrence. And then poor old Lawrence was speeding along a country lane near his house in England. And I think he avoided an accident with some boys on a bike, and he was killed on his motorcycle. That was the end of Lawrence of Arabia. So there you go. What about that? I tell you. Do I know what that means? La brecha shon duf amrach. Something like good luck, my friend. It's friendly, Tom. Good luck, my friend. Scotty, your anti-German rhetoric is disgusting. Please stop this. Jade, what are you talking about? I've never been anti anything. What are you actually talking about? Come and explain yourself big time. I've never done anything disgusting. And we're certainly not anti people, and we don't have anti. We love our German neighbours. Yes, so do I, Jade. Liebchen, I tell you, Frau. There we are. Nicht Deutsch sprechen, ich bin ein Ausländer, nicht verstehen. Do you speak German? Sprechen Sie Deutsch, Jade? So there we are. When have I been anti-German? Tell me that. So there you have it. I'm going to Cyprus. Oh, yes, that's right. We've done that one, haven't we? Fantastic. Sorry, I picked you up wrong. You certainly did, Jade. What was your, where were you coming from? Goodness sake. I'm not anti any human beings. I love this, Scotty. What football team do you support? Oh, lots of them. Lots of them. There we go. Hang on, I'll just get rid of a wee troll here, guys. We troll doing this one, eh? A wee troll doing this one, eh? Block. Lovely. End of troll. There we go. Fantastic. Now, the wee job, Scotty, I'll be in touch soon to do that for you. I've been run off my feet at the couch. Alistair, you know the rules. There are no rules. You be in touch when it suits you. As I say, maybe we could look at just over a month, something like that. See how you're placed and see what suits. There we go. Scotty, what's the best place you've visited for a wee jaunt or a holiday, Ryan? I've been the luckiest man in God's earth. I toured for 4 years in the theatre and stayed all over the UK, sometimes for nights, sometimes for a long time, hotels, bed and breakfasts, walking on beaches, sitting in different bars, talking to amazing people. Fantastic, I tell you. Love the South. Get right down to the South. Along the Thames, Wallingford, Henley-on-Thames, Abingdon. Beautiful, beautiful stuff there. So Winnersh, the Winnersh Triangle, Reading. You tell me. I've done it, I tell you. So there we go. John Donnelly says Deutschland is something or other. I'll not say that until we know what we're talking about there, I tell you. How do you feel about Taylor Swift? I think she's outstanding. She's got more followers than me on social media. I was a bit thrown by that, I can't tell you. T.E. Lon says, wartime, what's this? Aiden, we haven't heard from you for ages. Yes, how lovely to hear you. T.E. Lon says, Wartime Watch was discovered on Antiques Roadshow not long ago. Wow. Yes, T.E. Lawrence, so you're Lawrence of Arabia. You know, I've never toured the Highlands yet. Furthest north I've been's Aberdeen. Well, Amy, that's pretty far north. Aberdeen's actually further north than a lot of the Highlands. You see, but you should get yourself along, get over to Dalwhinnie, down to Spean Bridge, Fort William, and then you can turn up, you go to Skye, you go through Drumnadrochit and all that stuff. Did you watch the game? I did indeed. Scotty, how are you, my friend? Says Leo. DINKY-DOO, Leo. Not heard of you for far too long. We all love you, Scotty, says George. Bless you, George. Scotticus, so nice to have you. There we are. Fantastic. Thank you for joining us. Howdy doodly do, Scotty McCLUE. Maxine, have you ever been to the Isle of Barra? No, but I would love to go. I'm 68 tomorrow, guys. And there's so many things. I need to have several lives because there's so many things I need to do. So there you go. And I've had a wonderful life. I've only met one bad man. Scotty, where is Kilmacombe? Kilmacombe, Tom, is between, how can I put this? Probably between Paisley and Greenock. You used to be able to get it's a lovely, lovely part of the world. And you used to be able to get the train to Kilmacombe from Glasgow. And you could actually get the train from Glasgow to Greenock via Kilmacombe up until 1959. And then I think they took it off. I'm trying to think when they took it off. It was much, much later they took the train off because I've seen the Kilmacombe train. And Kilmacombe is a very, very nice suburb of Glasgow. A very early village. It's between Port Glasgow and Port Glasgow and Paisley. I think Port Glasgow and Johnston, that sort of way, out that way, Howwood and Houston and Langbank, things like that. Kilmacombe is a very, very nice place to stay, and a lot of very comfortable big houses, Victorian Edwardian houses, and they've got a remarkable village there called the Quarriers Village, which was set up by a guy from Greenock called William Quarrier, and he set up boot boys in Glasgow for little ones that were starving. Could probably do with people like William Quarrier about now. Then he built a whole village which was supposed to be homes for orphans. But as we all know, there aren't as many orphans as there are little ones that the family just couldn't cope, that sort of thing. So they are. But I'll tell you what I love about you. Talk about the Isle of Barra. And yes, are you a Berach if you're from Barra? You could get the boat from Oban to Barra, or you can fly if you can afford it and land on the beach. The wee twin engine, a twin otter comes in, brum, 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 down and swings round on the beach. Isle of Barra is a wild and lonely place, you understand. Eden. Och, times are hard in Barra. You'll hear the bodachs cry. No food to feed a sparrow, and every bottle dry. Old men once fresh and frisky, so full of ploy and play, dropped dead for want of whiskey, the blessed Uskebe. Now the dusty dry Sahara is a strange and foreign land, but the drought that year in Barra was just more than man could stand. And it goes on. And that was the SS politician that foundered in the fog, and that's the story of Whiskey Galore. But there's a very sad side to Whiskey Galore. Some of the people that they thought taking the whiskey were put in the jail and there was also a bit of domestic violence and things like that because people were drinking too much. You said God save the Queen first before you self-corrected. No, Eamon, God save the Queen until Her Majesty passed away. It's God save the King now. We all know that. Scotty, have you seen the new Rebus? Numpty, I have. And I liked it. I liked it. It's wonderful. Because I love Ian's writing, you know. And the last one, I loved the last one, Ken Stott. I mean, great stuff, you know. All that stuff. Edinburgh, Ken, all that. But yes, it is very gripping. You're right. I binge watched it, I'll confess. You're on the brew. Dinky-Doo, you're on the brew. We're not on the brew, Matthews. Thank goodness. Is Scotland the Brave not our true anthem? No. Scotland the Brave's a much, much later thing. Our true anthem's God Save the King. So there you are. Because the crowns, you see, one crown, one king, one head of state, one sovereign lord. And there was a guy today talking about a republic. One of our politicians was talking about a republic. That's an absolute killer, that one, I tell you. Dinky-Doo from Stephen and Jenna in Bishopton, big fans. Stephen and Jenna, we love you in Bishopton. Dinky-Doo. Now, what have we got? Scotty, thoughts on Anas Sarwat? Well, Ryan, I would never comment on an individual on here like that. Do you know what I mean? We just don't do that, and we don't knock people. I was in Portobello Beach a couple of weeks ago. The place has changed since I was there as a boy. I used to pass Portobello Beach every night on the way home from Scott FM, and I would take Lord Reith the Labrador on the beach. You know, at things like 2 o'clock in the morning. We had it to ourselves. It was brilliant. We're not asking you to knock anyone, Scotty. No, good one, Ryan. No, because we wouldn't. As you well know. Guys, I'm going to have to go soon. I popped up for a minute to say hi. And we've been up for 57 minutes saying hi. And it's been so lovely to see everyone again. Thank you. I'm sorry about my absence. There was nothing I could do about it. Nothing. But make sure you see every single TikTok video, every YouTube video. Make sure you're subscribed to YouTube, that you're following on TikTok. All that's very, very important. Hello from Berlin, says Pedro. Pedro, hallo. Nicht Deutsch sprechen, ich bin ein Ausländer, nicht verstehen. I hope your health's okay. It's we're on the mend, Ryan. Yes, thank you very much for that. Whiskey Galore, Gordon Jackson, a great comedy. Yes, and there's been a remake with Gregor Fisher, which is very good. Anything with Gregor Fisher in it's always good because the man is a top actor. So there you are. But the one with Gordon Jackson, that was your one. That is an absolute belter. Duncan McCrae's in it. Same as Tunes of Glory. Incredible stuff. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to dash. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Stay fabulous. Hashtag stay fabulous. Dinky-Doo to every single one of you. Oh, look at the messages. My goodness me. Monmouth, Scotland. Did you watch the footy? I did. There we are. Congrats. Absolutely. I remember your voice on the radio. I thank you very much, Dinky-Doo Scotty. We all remember you. Bring back the Monster Raving Loony Party. Have you anything in the pipeline? Lots in the pipeline. This is brilliant. Scotty's as sharp as ever. I tell you. What's that one? Where did you get your bunnets? There we are. Wonderful stuff. What do you think? Wait on Hallam FM. Yes, indeed. We loved it, guys. There's so much here. Snob, no, never a snob me. I tell you. So there you are. Scotty, who will win the election? Well, I think we'll have to find out when the election comes. Good night, everybody. God bless you, and Dinky-Doo. Ta-ra, lads. Oh, isn't that beautiful? And you gorgeous YouTubers, stick out your tongue and say ta-ta. Are you ready? Ta-ta. Tongues out. Last chance. Ta-ta.